Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Office Hours. We are now going to have our little Saturday education session. We're kind of been kicking these off for the last couple weeks. And we have Erica Sandstrom, who is the guru of green screen in the classroom. And so Erica, thank you so much and for joining us.
I am so honored to be here, and thanks for asking. I can't wait to play.
Absolutely. And how did you get into using green screen in the classroom? Was this a COVID thing?
No, it wasn't a COVID thing. This happened. I think it started 2015, where I kind of accidentally figured it out one day. But I was always obsessed with being a meteorologist, and then I took a class for it, and it was way too much math. So I was like, I'm out. But then it was the green screen. It was just something about it. And I've always been obsessed with Hollywood. So I tried it out in my classroom, and I'm actually going to show my very first green screen video, which is horrible, but it's hysterical at the same time. And it's just one of those things, like when you find something that you're passionate about,
right?
It just goes. And I think I was meant to be green screen gal, this whole thing. Someone dubbed me that. I didn't name myself that. Somebody dubbed me, and now it's turned into a thing, and I can't stop. I can't have awesome. My iPad in my bedroom because I will not sleep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's go ahead. I think you have a presentation for us, so why don't we have you kick it off?
I do, and it's Alex, what time would you like me to stop for Q&A?
Typically we would try to stop around 10:45. Does that give you enough time?
Yeah, I think so. I can stop. I can always stop. They can always check out the slideshow later, and I have a link for everybody. And we're going to have a little demo here and also some hands-on work, but you can always watch the replay to come play with me. Yeah. Hopefully you will. Okay, great. Thank you. Here we go. Here goes nothing. I think out loud, so this could be interesting. Does anybody else do that?
All the time. My big thing is I make sound effects.
All right. Can you see slides, even though they're tiny?
Yes, we can.
See slides?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let me present. Here we go. Okay, well, welcome to a very probably very different presentation. I have a style that I think I'm lagging a little, but as long as you can hear me, my style is not for everybody, but I hope you can have a great sense of humor and have some fun with me today. And welcome to my little world. I'm actually going to be sharing some of my online course with all of you because I think that would be the best way to learn this. So who am I? Besides a little nuts, I will tell you more about me, but this website right here will get you into this slideshow. I'm having internet lagging issues, so hopefully that will help with that situation. So this is on several slides, but take a screenshot or grab it, just tinyurl.com/officehours global. And you can come play. So a little bit more about me. I am been teaching 31 years and I'm tired, but I'm never too tired to jump on the green screen. Absolutely not. And so you will see that through my experience, a lot of things have happened just because of this green screen. Ever since I've gotten on the green screen, my world has changed completely. But I am here to share it with the world because I can't think of one classroom that shouldn't have this in a classroom, because it is the most powerful thing I've ever done as a teacher. And I'm not just saying that because I love the green screen, but it's so true. You can see here on the left, I have my students. This is before COVID, obviously, but this is a daily event where I'd have one group at a time. And I'll tell you, I've never had discipline problems when we have our iPads out working on the green screen, and it is just a blast. I also am a mindfulness enthusiast, and I offer workshops all over the world to help with mindfulness. But the coolest part is that I brought the two of them together. So I'll show you some samples of that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about green screen because I can't assume that everybody knows, and then show you some ways to use it in the classroom, and then we're going to play. So if I go a little fast, thank God you have a DVR and you can rewatch it. But Alex, you can always stop me if you need to ask a question or anything.
Will do.
Here are some ways to find me. There's kind of a theme. If you just put green screen gal in, there's lots of fun stuff to find with free resources and all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to show you my first attempt at the green screen, because everyone has to start somewhere. And this was using an app called VScope, which is one of the ones we use. Today, we're going to be really focusing on doing and the magic of that, but I'll just play it for you so you guys can understand where it all started. So as you can see, it was okay. So as you can see, I'm so sorry for the lagging, but it started off with no tripod and just utter chaos. And it's a lot funnier when you can watch it when it's not lagging. And we fell down. We were running from the dinosaur. We had the edges there. There was tons of shadows, but boy, did we have fun. And that was the day I got hooked. But that's before I knew what I was doing. And you have to start somewhere. So please don't be scared of this technology, because I'm going to make it really easy for you. And what's neat is this, this actual clip of me falling was just me after school one day. I do this almost every day, trying something out. And I literally did fall. I was okay. But that video I posted more just to make fun of myself and laugh. And it ended up getting the attention of EdTech Magazine, which is so cool, because EdTech is and the EdTech world is really on board with the green screen technology. So they let me jump on my green screen and be my silly self here. And it's been quite an honor to be on the cover of EdTech. So that's exciting. Okay, slides. And once again, here is the URL for you if you want to play along or see the slideshow that's working well. Okay, and why all this green screen hype? And I'm sure that every educator here has heard of the green screen at this point. I remember years ago trying to beg teachers to just listen and play, because the benefits are so crazy cool. But one of the main reasons is we have to change the way we're teaching. It's that whole rule of we talked about this last week in office hours. If you don't help kids every 5 minutes to be engaged, you lose them. But I have found that if you want kids to problem solve, just like they do with the scientific method, the green screen brings them through all those processes. So I'm not going to read this to you, but what is a green screen? And it used to be blue screens in Hollywood when they first started out. And obviously it's all about chroma key and how it takes out your background. But when I talk about using a green screen, I'm talking about creative video production. Anybody can remove a background now. There's so many ways to do that, but it's taking it to a whole nother level for your students. And this is more about how the green screen works. So if you want to read this on your own, I'm going to skip right through it. Just to show you the actual science behind it and everything. Here's some pictures of my principals and some other people. And, who's it for? I mean, who isn't it for? Seriously, we do things school-wide now. I have a green screen that's so lightweight and it's 17 or 13 feet, like this one. And we carry it out for events all the time. We use it for school dances, everything. And I actually have a green screen in my office, my boss's office now. So I make him use virtual backgrounds for fun stuff. So let's go past that. And other benefits, all the things students can do with it. And this is a very short list. This is actually much, much longer now of all the possibilities, from newscasts to music videos to commercials to, anything for any subject. So I'm going to show you some examples of that. I am so sorry. But this is also the main reason is it's bringing joy to not just the kids, to you too, as a teacher. I get near that thing and I can't stop giggling. And anyone that I've helped move in this direction, any teachers, even ones that were a little scared, they are always like, thank you so much. And it's very addictive. So I am warning you now, you've been warned. All right. So this is something I have for all of you. It's 10 ways to create a green screen studio, and it has information in here and green screen advice. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but just a quick peek of, different green screens you can buy on a budget, on any budget. And also in here, you're going to find lots of green screen teachers and leaders and tutorials from around the world, of all different kinds of people, because I'm not alone on this party, but we have a lot of fun together too. Plus, you're going to learn about some other apps and things. And honestly, this list has grown tremendously for removing background and things and other things you can do with green screen. But today we're going to look into Doink, because it is my favorite, bar none, out of all of these, and you'll see why. So have fun looking at that, because there's tons of stuff in there. Okay. Now, what are we going to learn? Oops, I have the wrong URL there. I apologize. We're going to learn how you can use this in any classroom, because our new global reality is this, especially with remote. And I want to hopefully talk about it towards the end, about how you can use this remotely, even without green screens with kids. It's just getting those ideas flowing. The kids pick up on this right away. They're so easy to teach. So WeVideo is my other go-to for this. And Doink I love because of the animation and the movement you can have and the masking tool. So we had a lot of fun just playing around with the text. And then in WeVideo, they have whole libraries full of creatures and fun animals and other things. So the kids have a lot of fun with that. All right, I know I'm going fast. So here's some ideas for core subjects. Math, we had coordinates. The sixth graders had to learn about coordinates. So they became the coordinates. And then they even actually animated this, where they did, kids would do dance moves or cartwheels or things, or ways to show the movement of how you go to a coordinate. And it's just a much more fun way to express their learning. And let me tell you, they did great on the test for coordinates, because if you do this a few times and you're having to do things over and over again, it really does help. And this was a science project where the boys got an A+ on this, and they wanted to teach all about sandstorms, which is kind of funny. So the boys, so they had a lot of fun with this, thinking of how could they support their project. Try to get to the fun part. So when you watch this in regular time, it is a riot, how much they're laughing and having fun. So they had a great time with that. But what's even more powerful, I think, with the green screen is there's a lot of kids that are shy. And I always tell them it's just as important for you to be behind the camera than it is to be in front of the camera. And a lot of kids will be directors, and they'll work on the props and things like that. And it's too stressful for them to speak on camera. But the most powerful thing for, I think, creative video production is to have the kids do voiceovers, where they can point to a speech bubble or a think bubble and just go like this, or point to something on the board. And that's how I got these girls on the green screen. They made this in 10 minutes. So they did a voiceover, and I'll show you. Hopefully it works. Please work.
Natural draft is also convection. Natural draft and convection are fluid movement caused by temperature changes that impact the density of a fluid. Warm air gets less dense and therefore will rise. As the air cools, it becomes more dense and will get heavier, and then due to gravity, it will sink. Isn't that interesting?
Okay. So as you can see, it was a lot less intimidating and a lot of fun.
Natural draft is...
And they got an A on that as well. And then, so we can get to the play part. I'm going to try to skip through these slides, but I did start to find a way to bring mindfulness and social emotional learning on the green screen as well, because I feel like in order to teach compassion and empathy, they have to practice it. So they make videos about everything from breathing techniques to how to use self-care in your life to, I mean, just so many, I can't even keep track of it. And Kid President is one of our favorite people that we look up to because he makes videos like that. And steam galore. Anything they make in steam can be taken to the green screen. And this here shows you that the video production process that we use is very similar to the engineering design process. And the thing I tell the kids is, as excited as they are to film, that's very low on the list. We have to do all these other things first, because when we finally get to the green screen, they're ready to go. They're ready to film. They have a plan. And we also, what's great about Doink is we film everything on green and then we import it into the app. So you can get through your students very quickly. You don't actually have to have the background in the app while you use it. So we use our cell phones. Every kid gets up with their cell phone and they get their footage, but they have to have their script first. So I have all kinds of free scripts and things on my website, and I can talk about that later. But so what's neat about STEM is here's some examples kids made from their STEM projects. So I thought that was really fun. And they had a blast making them. So it made it just a lot more fun. Okay. And then we're getting to the play part, but check out this fabulous ideas. This is from somebody else, actually. It's hard to read, but when you click on that, it talks about how you can clone students or turn them into a ghost if they're going back in time, how to turn it black and white, all kinds of cool things you can do with a green screen that are beyond just the basic removing the background. Okay, all right, let's play. Okay, so in order to play with us today, I will show you some examples of how powerful this app is, but I would like to use the Doink app. Now, I'm going quickly today because I want to get to Q&A, but the video production app by Doink is a $5 app, but it's the only time you ever spend any money. So if you have an iOS device, not a Mac, it's only for iPads and iPhones, highly recommend it. And you'll get to see some of this today. Another thing about this app is that it's really great for special needs kids. This is Achilles. He's my favorite green screener. He's in high school now, but he has very short hands. And Achilles was able to manipulate the things on the app that was really powerful to watch because he could do everything on his own. And that's another reason Doink is wonderful, especially for the younger kids, but high schoolers love it just as much. And I don't know what this is doing in here. This is just a fun thing we did with our pets. And then there's my father, my 82-year-old father loves the green screen. So he plays around with this every year as well. And I'll let you guys watch those on your own. Plus we go to assisted livings and we cover the wheelchairs and the walkers and make the green disappear. So this is where you can find Doink. And then the footage for today, if you want to go back after the replay and play, is here for you. And this footage link is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and queue up the video to the very first lesson in Doink that is going to use some simple footage of some butterflies and a picture of Hawaii. Because who wouldn't want to go there? All right, let me cue this video up. And hopefully the rest of the, wow, time goes fast. Rest of the time I can show you some demos. Here we go. Let's see, where is, I did queue it up. You watched me do it. It's the wrong one. Sorry, folks. I did have it queued up. Doesn't matter how prepared you are, does it, Alex?
It doesn't. It's harder. It's also harder in a browser, and especially with that many tabs open. It's just the
Yes, I know.
computer doesn't like it. It's like, oh,
Computer doesn't like it, and I know better. I know
good.
better too. All right, here it goes. This is the video. Please play. I'll cry. Close this tabs. It was queued up. Here we go. I'll try to close some tabs while we play this. All right, folks.
Hello again. Thank you all for being here to 3, 2, 1 action. Rock your green screen. In this jam session, you will need your iPad or iPhone and the awesome Doink app. You will learn how to use transparent images, plus how to edit images using the mask and the chroma key tool. For our first jam session, I want to have some fun with all of you to teach you the basics of the 3 rows in Doink. In the upper right corner, you will hit the plus sign and click Create New Project. The bottom row is always one that you can't see through. The middle row is in front of that, and the top row is in front of that. So I show the students physically by holding my hand in front of me, saying whatever you want out in front of you. Like if you're holding a word or holding an object, you would be in the middle, and then your background is wherever you can't see. So the bottom row, hit the plus sign, hit photos. Where else would you see butterflies? Well, butterflies, I saw a ton of them in Hawaii. So I went to a website called Pics for Learning. There's a lot of free photos out there for teachers or for anybody. And this is one of them. I use Pexels and Unsplash as well. The first butterfly I want to choose is this purple one with the black background. Now I'm going to click done so you can see what I'm doing here, but you can keep the panel open if you know to jump to the second row. If you keep it on the first row, it's going to replace this bottom row. So you're going to hit plus, photos, iPad practice, and this purple one. Now this butterfly has a black background because it's a transparent picture. It's a PNG already. So it's nice and easy. So we're gonna go ahead and put our beautiful butterfly. Let's put him here. Now, that was nice and easy. Now for the top row, go ahead and hit it here, or you can swipe it back and hit the plus sign, but it's already open. I want you all to choose the blue butterfly. Now this butterfly has a different situation going on. This was from that website, but it's not a PNG transparent picture. But don't worry, Doink has figured that out for you. This is what's so great. So I'm going to click done, and we're going to go work with this. This has a white background we'd like to get rid of. So all you have to do is go into the mask tool, the one that looks like a mask, and you have a magic wand here. Sometimes you have to play with the sensitivity. If there's a lot of white in the butterfly, you would have to play with the sensitivity so it doesn't erase it all. But with the magic wand, with one quick tap, we now have a transparent image. And there you go. So this is a great place to show students about depth perception, kind of like when you hold your fingers up at the shape of their head and show them how, I squish your head from a distance. So anyway, so I always tell them, put the butterflies different sizes. Now, then I say to them, oh my gosh, we need more butterflies. This is Hawaii, right? Let's add some more. How can we do that? And it's great to ask the kids this because they're always like, they come up with some great answers. And eventually, if they're not getting it, I'll say things like, well, how can we use this finished photo to help us get more butterflies? And then they're like, oh, and then finally they're like, oh, we could save it.
So we're going to go to image. It always says export video in this app because it is a video production app. So you have to switch it to image and then click done and save it to your camera roll. Sometimes I have to go this far before I can get them to figure it out. So I saved the photo and I said, well, how can we use this new photo to help us? And then they're like, oh, you can add a new project, create a new project and use it as your new background. And this is how, in a lot of my projects, you've probably seen on Twitter, how I get 25 people in the picture. You just save your project and move to the next one and just add 2 more, save it, add 2 more, save it, and you can go on forever. So you don't need more than 3 rows because you can make as many as you want. Just like you can in other programs that have a lot of rows, you can add new tracks.
Okay, so if it's okay, can I go right into the next one, Alex, or is it?
Yeah, sure. How long? Yeah, absolutely.
What's the longest I can go? Because I don't want to miss out on showing them some more.
I have some. I will say that I have a hard out at 11, so I have to drop out. But we could have. I mean, someone else could stay with you there as well. So I just want to give people a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and do some questions, and then we'll come back to that. So who's doing? Go ahead, Josh. We had a panel discussion. That's okay. We're past that.
Sure.
Yep.
So from Alton Christensen in New York City, when lighting a green screen surface, I've seen KinoFlow green tubes used. Might easily available LED lights work as well? And if so, what color temperature is best to use for a Elastilite-like surface?
I might answer that one for you if it's okay. Yeah. So the KinoFlow, what we've used a lot for most of our green screens is a KinoFlow 4x4 or a 4x2. These are 4-foot KinoFlows that are green. The big problem with them is that you need to make sure you mask them off so you don't get green spill across the person that's sitting in the foreground there. So what the advantage of them is. They give you a really large source of green, which is going to give you a really soft green in the background. The problem you'll have with LED lights is, number one, is sometimes they don't get as bright, and also they tend to be a little more spotty, and so you'll have more hot spots across your green screen than what you would have otherwise. But those are the best for Elastilite type surface. But the only Elastilite type surface that we found that we could use is Composite Components digital green screens. I can't hear you, Josh.
Sorry.
Go to the next question. Yeah, let's go to the next question. Sorry.
Next question. From John Snyder. What are some of the most common mistakes people new to green screen make, and how do you prevent them?
Do you want to answer that, Erica? What do you think are the most common problems? Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I wish I had more time because I was going to cover that a bit. The most common things are out of frame, where they are filming on the green screen and then the kids' hands go out of green, especially if they're filming from a distance or too close. Then, their limbs disappear. Also, if you use any kind of props that are green, they cover their feet and things like that. And I'd say the other thing too is not matching up like the running dinosaur I have, matching it to the edges. So things are magically coming out of the middle of the room. Also lighting's always an issue, but that's what I like doing, because they have ways you can get rid of the shadows and even erase them and erase anything that you don't want in the scene. So those are the most common mistakes. Plus having kids too close to the back of the green screen. You should push them up at least 2 or 3 feet at the least.
Yeah, absolutely. I think those are great tips for green screen. Yeah, absolutely. Now let's go to the next question.
And next question from Tony Mobley from Noonan, Georgia. What is the basic hardware setup for using green screens in the classroom?
Go ahead, Erica.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So that 10 things, I have that there for you. Now, I'm probably not as fancy, believe it or not, as all of these people here with their setup, but mine is pretty basic. My classroom lights are so bright that I don't even have to use the lamps anymore. and it's a lot of classrooms are like that actually. But your basic setup is your green screen. You definitely need a tripod, but we make tripods out of toilet paper holder rolls or cups like this. If you want to, low budget, just cut a side of both. You definitely depends on if you need mics. We have a couple mics for news stations and things like that, and these guys can tell you those perfect ones. And I use my cell phone a lot. I do, but in a fancy room, I'd have an iPad Pro. I have a Padcaster. I have a teleprompter. But yeah, what do you guys think? What would you add?
I think that the number one is a flat green screen, obviously, and you can get there's ones that are elastic and cloth. I've actually gone out for examples to do when I'm showing actual education where I'm trying to make sure that it's cost effective. I've gotten seamless green from a photography store. You get a roll of seamless green and you can just roll it down. The thing that's the most important is how you light it. So it being lit. Now I will always light my green screen separately from my foreground. So I'll have something for the person in the front, and then I'll have something that's going to light the background. And that just makes it easier for you to control each one of those. But I've literally gone to Walmart and gotten ShopLight, a ShopLight thing. The big thing there is I put those KinoFlow greens. Now they don't make them anymore, so that's the problem. So you have to now we have to put regular lights in there. And the thing that some of us do, which is a little over the top, is we'll replace the ballast in the wall. We'll buy the Walmart one, and then we'll replace the ballast so that it's running a little bit faster. And then we put a green. We put green gel over top of the front of it so that you get kind of a green light on it. The green on green makes it really pure and it makes it easier to key. And then but we still have to make sure that we block those out. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, it's so inspiring, Erica, your enthusiasm for green screens. Because I've been quite shy of doing them. Something that this is one of the few times that I've done with a green screen with a puppet. And I thought at the time I was going to have to light it separately with some like green lights, but actually, if I was keying with the ATEM Mini, it actually came through all right. But the key to that for me was doing a hardware key rather than a software key. If the light, I was just using natural light, but using the ATEM Mini, it kind of corrected that, and it was good enough for the purposes that I was using.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, and since it was mentioned to use in the classroom, what you might be able to do is utilize some of the things you already have in the classroom to go into green screen mode. So lots of classrooms have projector screens, and projector screens are white, but you can project a green image on the back of them and instantly go into green screen. One thing that helps with that is you don't have to necessarily have a high saturation or brightness. The low saturation will help, and then you won't have as much spill on the people that are standing before it, but it's something you could utilize that's already to hand in the classroom.
And if you have a cloth background, just as an aside, if you, this is very high tech. You'll see this is, but that don't worry about the lights. But the green screen back there, that's PVC pipe that we just tied the green screen to. We just pulled it, stretched it tight against that because it basically means that it won't have any wrinkles. I'm sure Erica can tell you about getting rid of all those wrinkles makes it a lot easier to key it. Go ahead, Roscoe.
Well, if you can't get rid of wrinkles, being a little bit out of focus will help too. So space is something that if you can do it, it'll save you. Narrow angle lenses, meaning lenses that zoom in a lot. Sometimes you can back it. It's hard to get a huge wall of green screen behind you, but if you have a narrow angle lens, you can back up a little bit, get the background a little bit more out of focus, put the person in the foreground. So I would just say, get as much space as you can comfortably utilize to this purpose. Yeah,
to Roscoe's point, real quick, is that if you have a person here that's in the front here, as you get the camera more, as you pull the person away from that background, they're getting less diffuse light from the top and the bottom, which means that they'll have less edging, spill is what we call it. So as they move away, the only light rays that are getting to the camera are coming straight across. And that means you're going to get less spill, and that's going to improve your key a lot. Go ahead, Erica.
Wow, you guys are awesome. We should have had this conversation a lot sooner. Yes, wrinkles are your nemesis. What's nice is the Do Ink app has ways to get rid of those shadows, but these are a must. I'm sure somebody mentioned the clips. If you can pull the screen, whether it's just, and it's so inexpensive now to get a nice chroma key background. But my biggest thing is having a floor. Now, that has been a tough thing for years to get the right one. If you have a lot of money, they have actual green screen floors where it's, I think it's almost like a sticker, but you can actually create a studio. But I have found that the mats that I mentioned in my 10 ways to build a studio, they're the squishy puzzle piece mats, green squares. I think they're starting to sell out because everyone, I've told so many people, but those have worked really well for us for the most part, especially since we do a lot of jumping and things like that. Now on my YouTube, you're going to see me fall flat on my face. That's a fun video to find because never use the green screen material as your floor unless you're not moving, because you'll see what happens there. I took quite a digger.
Right. Next question.
And next question is from John Snyder from Reno, Nevada. What does spill mean? And what are the other technical terms and definitions that will help users to understand how to diagnose any problems they come across?
Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to probably, I'll let Josh jump into some of these. I think we'll probably have a technical green screen. I think that what I'm really interested in for today with Erica is showing how to use the green screen. I think we can dig into the technical area, which will take another hour, of green screen. But I think that talking about the function, Josh, if you want to throw that in real quick, but I think that what we'll look at is like how we're using green screen in education, or how we're using it in the classroom.
Sure. Yeah, just real briefly, if you're lighting a green screen or using green light, some of it may spill onto the subject. So if you don't keep them far enough away from the background, or if you have it illuminated too high, you'll see that edging on them, which is undesirable for a number of reasons. Since that's a keying color, it can affect your edge and you'll notice it. So it'll look sourcey.
And I think that Erica, I mean, I think the thing that's really interesting is that it takes very little, right, for an iPhone app, a simple process to really get kids excited about it. That's what I find, is that it doesn't, like, we get into all kinds of weird little keys and hairs and technical stuff, but I don't think we want to lose the fact that kids just love seeing it, and it doesn't have to be looking like the next Avengers movie.
No, it doesn't. And it's important to let the kids make those mistakes and not, I have a hard time. I have to stop myself from fixing them because there's a learning curve there. Plus, they go crazy. You can also, real quickly, one thing we did once to do waist up is we put a green slide in Google Slides and put it up on the projector. And that is a green screen. There you go. Ready to go.
We did one where we had a piece of Lycra cloth, and we had a little slit in it. And when we wanted to show something on the screen, like we were talking about something on a computer screen, put our hand through it and go like this, it's right over here, and it looked like the hand was coming out of the screen and into it. But those are the kind of things that are just kind of, fun, and do you mostly do stuff for yourself, or do you mostly do stuff where you're incorporating the kids in the green screen?
A lot of times the kids don't want their things posted. So I post I do a lot of examples with me. Right. And then the student ones that are,
so most of them are students doing, most of what you do is with the students, but the ones you show us are you.
The ones I show you are my examples to get them excited, teach them possibilities. And, I'm not going to lie, a lot of it's for me because it's just, it's so much fun.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, no, those are most of the things I do are samples for lesson plans.
Speaking of samples, why don't you show us one more sample?
How much time do I have? I didn't get to show much.
We'll go over another. I mean, we can how about actually, we'll stop today. This gives everybody a little way to think about this. Erica, can we get you to come back and show some more?
Of course. Oh my gosh, I want to nerd out and show you all how to do this. It's so fun.
Yeah, let's do that. So what we'll do is, I love this. I think it's really important for everyone to see how much they could do with that green screen. And so let's schedule you for another Saturday in the future, and then and then you can show us more samples, because I think that people should see more and more of it.
Okay. All right. No, you're welcome.
Yeah, really, really well done. Thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you.
Inspiring.
Yeah, no,
I'm
absolutely.
sad. I don't want to go play. All right, fine. I'll
Yeah,
come back.
we'll have a good time with it. So anyway, so thank you so much. Thank you to all of our panelists and our producers for putting together such a great show. We blame all of you, the producers, for asking all the great questions, the panelists for answering all of them. We can't do it without either one of you. So thank you so much for being part of the conversation. And we will see you in after hours. Later this afternoon, I forgot to put it in the thing. I will put out an announcement in Discord, but I'm going to attempt to open up my my Starlink, and we'll try to set that up and see if it works. And then remember that on Sunday, we're going to watch the Super Bowl together. We're not going to talk about football at all. We're only going to talk about the graphics and the commercials and the presentation, but we will be getting together at 3:00 on Sunday. All right. Thanks again, Erica. And